Yeah, another little maintenance video here from Sveno Mick on my ST250 Braaap road bike. I've just loosened all these off, so what we've got doing here, and I've already cleaned this, I just want to show you. So I've popped the side cover off on the left hand side, and what I'm doing here is I'm pulling the air filter out. Now I use high quality air filter fluid, and it's not about being anything in particular, but I just use Modal. There's Bel-Ray, there's all sorts, there's Castrol, there's all sorts, but whatever you want to use. So if you look at this here, there's a sealing ring all the way around this here, and here's your air filter. So this is a very, very simple air filter to change, clean and change. Now what I do is I actually wash mine out, my air filter out, in warm soapy water, just warm soapy water. Then I rinse it off in warm water. Then I just hang it up on the clothesline and dry it. That's what I do. Now it might be a bit of a slow procedure, but it's always good to have one, if you can afford to, have a spare air filter there ready for service. So this is all on a road bike, not like dirt bikes. They don't get as grubby as a dirt bike. So I clean this every 6 months, and I've oiled it up very lightly, and you just put a real thin smear of grease just around there, around the sealing ring. You just pop that back in after it's dry and oiled up. So you just put that in there, and you know it's going to seal, because this is actually not a bad little setup. So you can clearly see that's going to push up against that and seal it around there. So the writing on the bottom, but I think it could go either way, but I just put the writing on the bottom, that back in. Phillips head screwdriver that fits the Phillips head screw right. Now these are only into plastic, right? So these are a thing you don't want to tighten up. You don't even really want to snug them up. You just, not even firm, because all you're doing here is screwing into plastic. So you don't want to strip them out. So I'll just show you what I do. And you do it whatever way you want to do it. I'm not telling people what to do, but I've done this for a lot of years and never had problems with failure with any of me servicing. Matter of fact, I've hardly ever had a failure on a bike. So just tight, just a tiny little bit, not put much weight on it at all, hardly anything, really, till it just goes to firm. You take it up equally, and that's as simple as that. Little rubber here's flogging out a bit on the side cover case. That little tab goes through there, so I might have to hunt another one of them down. A little tab goes through there, but I've noticed actually that case on this doesn't fit that square, so you've got the pin here that it goes into, then just push it in there like that, and then just in, and that's as easy as that. And you can not put grease on there because that's rubber, but yeah, that's as simple as that. Air filter serviced, and next I'm going to tension my chain, but I won't worry about that. I've got a spare chain for this. I've bought myself a new RK chain. That's still the original little China chain. I'm going to pull that off, and I'm going to clean it right up because it's not too bad. And I'll just run 2 chains because they're not O-ring. They're actually your high quality RK chain, and that, or EK, or whatever you want to use, Regina. No, I have no allegiance to any of the chain makers, but I've had those 3, RK, EK and Regina, O-ring chains on my dirt bikes, and I've always had a good run out of them. I'm saying that I had 3,000 kilometres on my Husqvarna WR252 stroke that I sold about 3 or 4 months ago, and believe it or not, I still had the original chain and sprockets on it, and the original brake pads. Now, I don't ride in a lot of mud these days because I'm just not interested in all the cleaning. I steer clear of bog holes if I don't have to go through them. I'm old and fussy, and that's probably why things last me extremely well. But anyhow, that's an air filter service on this bike. Like I said, I'd done it all before. Just wanted to run you through it, and I will say, when you squeeze that air filter fluid out, on these 4 strokes, you can actually, on any 4 strokes, you can actually leave it hang for a while, you know, for an hour or so before you actually put it back in the airbox. Because what happens is you will go to start it, and the anti-backfire, anti-flame retardant in the brake fluid will actually sometimes stop it from wanting to start. But that's on that. I've had it going since I changed the filter, since I cleaned the filter. But you see how easy that started. And yeah, I'm just looking around doing other things so while I'm talking, but I'm going to leave it at that. Sveno, Mick out.